Good evening, race fans, and welcome in tonight. It's the NORA Cup Series live here on VirtualRacing.Network. That's right, continued iRacing NASCAR Next Gen playoff coverage of the NORA Cup Series as we wind down this season, and we are set for a barn burner tonight here from Las Vegas Motor Speedway, Sin City, as it's known. I've been asking everybody where they're putting their bets tonight, and it is all over the board, but lots of drivers feeling very confident. 40 laps in the first stage, 80 laps in the second, and 160 laps overall here tonight. And this is the first round of the round of 8. So everybody vying to get into that winner's column. And of course, I'm Trevor Greenfield. I'll be with you tonight, as I have been through most of this season. And of course, joining me here in the booth will be none other than team owner, veteran sim racer, and winner this season in the NORA Truck Series, Christian Snyder. Christian, great to have you with us. And what can we expect here tonight at this D-shaped oval in the desert?
Well, as always, Trevor, it's great to be here every single week with you. It's a lot of fun. But in the desert, man, we're going to be gambling here tonight. I tell you that. We got 40 laps in the first stage, 80 in the second, and these guys have 35 laps on fuel. So they are very close to being able to push it to 40. So we'll see how many people do that tonight, or if we have some cautions that might break that up and cause some strategy to come out. I can't wait. I'm a former winner at this track. I absolutely love it. Can't wait to see how the race goes.
Absolutely should be a lot of fun. And, of course, that banking playing a role, and we'll see whether or not the outside line develops here tonight or not. But it will be a lot of fun to see who gets it right and who doesn't, who bets on black or red and has their night turn to riches. And we're just getting some things squared away here. We'll be able to bring you qualifying coverage here momentarily. But we hope that you're enjoying your evening, getting set for tonight's action out here. And let us know over in the YouTube chat who you're rooting on, where you're watching from, all that good stuff. Always great to know who is out there and who's watching. And certainly the fan favorites, as we expect, going to be in the field out there tonight. Ronnie Norman, hopefully going to be in the field there qualifying. Of course, there he is in the back, but he has not set a time yet, so we'll be watching for that. As well as Dustin Kleba now taking the top time out there on the track. Ryan Bird putting in his first lap already. Cody Reeder heads out there right now. And Christian, maybe you can take us around this track here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway.
Yeah, this is his first lap. We'll go ahead and take a look because they only get one lap here. It's going to be the inside lane preferred for qualifying, especially through 3 and 4. 1 and 2, you might see some people going a little bit up the track, and that's just to avoid the bumps on the bottom. So here you go. He's on the bottom, pretty close to that white line. Not as low as I would have been. Or would have liked to see, but it's still going to be a pretty good lap for Reeder, probably top 10.
How about second?
Wow, second. I tell you what, maybe the white line isn't the right way.
Well, sometimes, it doesn't look fast, and sometimes it looks slow, or it looks like it's not the ideal line, but these guys have probably come out here and practiced these laps and found a way to shave off a tenth or two, and a lot of times the clean laps are the ones that do that the best. Ronnie Norman, championship driver, he's fast enough for 8th, so he'll move up there into the top. And again, this is the round of 8 here in the NORA Cup Series, and that means, like I said, everybody's focus turns towards winning. Something else to consider, as well as I believe all of the drivers that are going to set a time have already done so, is that just because you're not in the championships, that doesn't mean that you're not trying to go out there and win your first race of the season. And unfortunately, if you look in 9th place there at Robert/Jake Christenberry, he did not find himself in the winners circle to move on to round of 8. He hasn't won yet this season, but I saw him posting earlier. He's still looking and fighting to get that first win of the season. And of course, Christian, you know, also a lot of these drivers vying to get the best of the points that they can. You know, John Cottle, Kulikowski, Engel, Christenberry, all fighting to stay and possibly get up into the top 10 here in the championship for the end of the season. And, you know, kind of everybody else fighting for the best of the rest.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of names on this list that you look at that 0 in the win column, and it's just absolutely shocking. I mean, Cody Height, he hasn't punched his ticket into victory lane here in the Cup Series. He did it in the Truck Series at, I believe, it was a road course that he won at.
Mid-Ohio.
Fantastic race. Yeah, Mid-Ohio. Tom Senchek still not in victory lane. I think he finished top 3, though, last week, so maybe he's looking to carry that momentum to possibly punch his ticket here at Las Vegas.
Certainly a lot to fight for. Well, tonight, in order to race, you must qualify, and they have done so. We're waiting for Cody Reeder to make the grid, but in the meantime, let's go ahead and go over how they will start for tonight's race at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Starting pole position will be Dustin Kleba. No surprise to see Speedy Kleba there in the top spot for KPR Motorsports. Starting alongside will be Cody Reeder. In the second row, Tom Senchek with Matthew George. Of course, Tom in yellow, and you see the rest of the drivers in yellow. Pretty much everybody has made it to the top of the charts, and those are the drivers that will be fighting for that championship. Ryan Bird in there as well. Vincent Arthur in that third row. John Cottle and Ronnie Norman in the fourth row. Timmy Harper and Zach Hollinger in the fifth row. Justin Moody and Jacob Gladelich will make up that sixth row. 13th will be Cody Height starting next to Cameron Thompson. Josh Conover next to Jake Christenberry. Kyle Rochelle and Jacob Malone. Chad Engel with Brady Moats. And Gary Freeman Jr., though it's just showing Gary Jr. at the moment, he'll be starting for the first time here in the NORA Cup Series. Congratulations and welcome to him. He'll be joining the Full Send Motorsports team alongside of Everett Couts. 23rd will be Peyton Tulloch, and next to him, Blake Hoppy. Nick Geilis and Chris Heitz will start on the back row there tonight. And Christian, I just want to get this out of the way right off. Icon Cup Series comes in here on Sunday night, and we have a caution-free race. Now I know you're real big about setting these these odds. What are the odds that NORA Cup Series does the same here tonight?
Oh man, you put me on the spot here. I think there's a lot more aggression, especially with these NORA playoffs, because Icon, it's for fun in a sense. I mean, the champion gets a couple bucks, I think. But these guys are going for hundreds of dollars for the championship. So this is big money on the line for these guys. So they're going to kind of be more aggressive and want to push their car more.
Absolutely. They're going to want to do everything they can to get up there, secure their win, get into Phoenix, and be able to hold that championship trophy. But here we go. We're all set here in Vegas. The chips are on the table. Who will it be tonight at the end of this one that punches their ticket? Dustin Kleba leads it down to the green flag with Cody Reeder. Tom Senchek now on the inside, taking that position from Reeder on this start.
Yeah, I think we're going to see the bottom be effective for the first probably like 5 to 6 laps of the race, and then people are going to start migrating to the outside. As you see, it's still too wide throughout the field here. Pretty high speeds here through the beginning part of the run.
Certainly pretty high speeds, and obviously these drivers really trying to make some moves here early on. There's Vincent Arthur, who ended up, for those of you who tuned in last week and saw Peter Irons stealing victory in his debut here at the Charlotte Roval, it was in fact invalidated and Vincent Arthur given the win because of an infraction of skipping a corner and not stopping, and that in fact invalidated that win. So Vincent Arthur on a continued winning streak here in the NORA Cup Series of taking quite a few positions, or quite a few wins. And speaking of taking positions, how about Tom Senchek now moving that late Apex Racing number 26 Chevy up into the lead?
I tell you what, he's got to be careful. He's going to run the tires off pretty quick, running the bottom as aggressive as he is. It doesn't look like he's lifting too much on the exit or entry, so that is absolutely killing the rear tires. The best way to run this track, you want to lift a little bit going into entry and lift. Don't get onto the throttle too much on exit or else you're going to burn the rear tires off the car. And speaking of which, Vincent Arthur, he's using that outside and he's going to take the lead already. He says, forget tires right now, I want this lead.
Well, track position does mean something, and obviously some of these drivers definitely deciding to bet on putting in their laps early, trying to get out there and get their stage points, which are so crucial, so valuable in chasing this championship and making sure that you get enough points. I mean, again, we've talked about it, but you get up there, you get the win, or you get a top position in both of the first stages. You may not survive the final stage, but at least you got those points in the first couple of stages, and that is a very valid strategy. You can see John Cottle up here racing for position now, up into third place. He's up 4 positions. How about Cody Height? He's up into 4th place, up 9 positions so far. So already some movers and shakers. And just like that, also Dustin Klebov now, one of the favorites to possibly win here, now falling back into 5th.
Yeah, and I just want to update that John Cottle no longer in the playoffs, even though he has that yellow banner on his car. So a little bit of a mistake on their part there, putting the yellow banner on, but he was eliminated last round. But the rest of these guys, Arthur, Senchek, Height, and Kleba, and Berg, are all in this hunt for the playoffs. As you see, Ryan Berg got really loose right there, had to chase it up the track. I think Matthew George almost got into the back bumper of him there a little bit. He's going to go underneath him now.
Bird now takes that look on the outside. You've got George in there. You've got Zach Hollinger, Josh Conover. A number of these drivers racing for position at the moment. Tell you what, when it rains, it pours. One technical thing feeds into another technical thing, but I think we've got about everything cleaned up now. So Bird right now up into that 6th spot. How about Cody Height? This guy...
Yeah, it's impressive. He's usually, he's a mid-pack guy, stays back there most of the race, but he says it's go time now. We're into the final round before the championship, and now's the time to push it early and try to get all these stage points and maximize, like you said, your chances at getting to that Final Four.
Well, and again, he's looking to get that win. He was the first one to respond. I said, where are you placing your chips tonight? And he said, I'm putting it on Black 22. And I think he's putting all the chips out there. He says, I'm all in. And here he goes to the outside on Tom Senchek. Cody Height on YouTube moves up into the 2nd place, as does Tom Senchek. As does John Cottle. He tries to make a move on Tom Senchek, not able to pull it off quite yet, but he's right in this mix up into 4th. Looking a little bit further back. Look at this gaggle of cars back here. Now 3 wide down the straightaway.
Yeah, this is all happening because Dustin Kleba, he is saving fuel. He's backing it down, not pushing it, saving tires, saving fuel, knows that there's 40 laps in this stage. And like I said, it's 35-ish on a fuel tank. So you could stretch it theoretically. And it looks like Dustin Kleba going to try to do that fuel strategy to try to stretch it and possibly get that stage win.
Christian, last time by, fastest lap of the race for Cody Height, as he moves into 2nd, and he is beginning to close in on Vincent Arthur.
Yeah, this is an impressive run out of that 22. We were talking earlier in the week. We had some fun on the off day yesterday for NORA, and he said it's down to business now.
Well, business or fun in Las Vegas, I guess, mix a little bit with a little bit, and you end up with a good run here. Cody Hyde already looking good here in the first stage, but again, so much longer to go. We're working until lap 40 for our first stage break. Right now working on lap number 13. Again, some more movement here in the field. You're looking at Jacob Malone alongside of Josh Conover. Conover edges just ahead there. In that...
A couple of cars got mixed up throughout this race, so yeah, it'll show that he's in the 7, but he's actually in the 25. It got it all mixed up. iRacing not cooperating with these drivers here tonight.
It's not yet another thing I didn't quite get correct here on this
no,
end.
not this time.
Okay. I saw Josh posting ahead of time something weird happened with the numbers. But now look at this mix-up back here. Lots of drivers side by side. This is Ronnie Norman caught in the middle of this. And Timmy Harper as well. Brady Moats in the middle. This is racing for 13th, 14th, 15th position back here.
Yeah, and these guys are all doing the same thing. They're just kind of saving a little bit, not pushing it too hard, just running that strategy of just trying to make it to the end of the stage and try to save fuel as much as possible. I don't see anyone really clutching it that much, but a lot of cars are saving fuel here.
Well, Ronnie Norman, one of the championship drivers, riding around back here in the mid-pack, and great to see Anthony Campbell, Bomboni-tastic, checking in with us. Too bad that you're not out here in the field. Would love to have you back out here, but great to have you checking in. Let's go Harper Motorsports, and a big wave from Jacob Vladelich, who is in the field as well. Somewhere in here. There we go for the JRC Sim team. Racing the number 7 machine. He's got the breast cancer awareness package going on with that car right now. And currently holding down the 21st spot out here in Las Vegas. Lucky number 21, if you can say that. He checks in with us over on YouTube. And finally, we've got Steven Dombrowski. Hey, let's go, Ronnie. Get the W. So you know where everyone's mind is at here tonight, and yet here's Chad Engel back here in 22nd position. Gary Freeman Jr. making his first start here in NORA Cup, and right now running in that number 55 machine and trying to bring that thing forward.
I tell you what, Vincent Arthur has pulled away from Caudle right now. He's out to a pretty good lead right now. Kind of cruising, and you know, with him taking that win last week, he's kind of a little upset about it, because it's you know, a win's a win, but he didn't go out there and do it fairly. You know, I'm one of those guys too. I won Talladega because Brian Jones got penalized on the last lap. You know, so I feel where he's coming from. You know, a win's a win, but the celebration is just a little different whenever you win that way. So. You know, he's been lights out, though, for these playoffs, man. The first round, I think he won 2 out of the 3 races. Second round, I think he also won 2 out of the 3. So he's been on a roll here.
This is something special that we're seeing out of Arthur. It's kind of like he had a dip in confidence, and then all of a sudden, everything back exactly where it was to start the season. So much confidence coming into these races and confidence in his racecraft. It's pretty awesome to watch a driver really pick up where he left off a bunch of races before. But hey, you know, he had done so much work ahead of time that even with and gotten those wins and gotten so many points and bonus points, that even with a little bit of a lull in the mid-season, he didn't have to worry about making the playoffs. He was right there in contention, and as a result, as soon as the wins started coming, and again, I credit VirtualRacing.Network with those, with all of those wins, because you see, he came and he did some coverage here as an announcer before the Michigan race in the Icon Cup Series on Sunday night, and then he went out there and he won on Tuesday night in NORA Cup, and ever since then, everything has been going great. So, of course, you can make those checks out, Vincent, to Trevor Greenfield at VirtualRacing.Network.
Well, Hey, he wouldn't have been there if I didn't, step out. So maybe I'm the reason,
That's true. Make sure to include Christian Snyder in those checks as well. Matthew George right now doing a bang-up job for Flatline. He's up into 4th place.
Yeah, he's another one of those drivers that he's in that playoffs battle, and he needs to go up there and get that. I'm pretty sure he is in the playoff battles, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, he is. He actually tied Christenberry and knocked him out of the playoffs. So Matthew George is in, and Jake Christenberry was knocked out.
I think we had some sort of backup here in our graphics getting it ready, but either way, we'll make sure that we get all of those fixed for you going forward here. Make sure that we report that accurately. But Vincent Arthur doing what needs to be done right now in front. How about 2nd place Tom Senchek? He's taking that position away from Cody Height. And now starting to close in ever so slightly on Vincent Arthur. It's about a 1-second gap now. And now racing side by side. Perhaps Cody Height did wear the new off of those tires too quickly, because here comes Matthew George by Cody Height for position.
Yeah, and we talked about it through the season. 2 of the best people at saving tires in this league, Matthew George and Ronnie Norman. They come out of nowhere toward the end. That's why we call him Stormin' Norman, because late in the run he comes out of nowhere as we see green flag pit stops begin. But Matthew George is another one of those guys where he usually backs it down in the beginning of the race and then he'll wait until the end to strike, but now is the time where he needs as many points as possible. So he's out here pushing as hard as he can in this first stage.
So Senchek pulls it down onto pit lane, slowly making his way down there. Reserved for the Employee of the Month, says one pit board out there.
Now, that's a pretty cool pit board there.
It is indeed. How about this new paint job on the Pepsi number 24?
Yeah, I love the breast cancer awareness cars. Everyone who runs them, I absolutely love seeing that. And it's for a great cause. Running these pink cars, we see it all and through all sports. We see the pink cleats usually in the NFL. The pink window nets for the Cup Series in real life. So can't do that in iRacing, so they paint the cars pink in iRacing here.
Well, who knows how long it'll be until that changes and you can paint the window nets. Wouldn't that be cool? John Cottle now up into 3rd. Cody Height still running in 4th place, up 9 positions, but Cottle making it 2 Harper Motorsports cars up in the top 5 right now. Vincent Arthur, Matthew George, and Josh Conover all running for Flatline and making that 3 cars for Flatline up there in the top 5 right now. So great runs here for a couple of different teams. And honestly, it's kind of exactly the same thing we saw Sunday night, but it's interesting to see it playing out yet again here. 30 laps into this one, or coming up on 30 laps, and of course...
Oh! Did you see that? John Cottle got real loose through 1 and 2. My goodness, there was tire smoke coming out of his right rear. Holy cow.
We'll go on board and see, is he fighting...
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my goodness me, Christian.
Yeah, I was talking to my drivers before the race, my driver, and he said that it was getting real loose around that 20-lap mark. After that, it was a handful. So you can see a lot of these guys starting to have that issue where it's starting to get a little bit loose in the center of the corner and off.
Well, Cody Height not able to take advantage thus far of this loose condition for John Cottle, but you just hear those tires squealing. He is right on that edge. You can see it almost getting away from him there on exit.
Yeah, when you're turning right coming off the corner, that is not a good thing. This is not dirt racing. So, I mean, he might think it is, but turning right is not the greatest idea.
I mean, dirt racing, that is exactly what you do. You do turn right as you exit the corner. How about this side-by-side battle going on back here? We've got Tim Harper and Kyle Rochelle side-by-side right now. And now
here comes Josh Conover.
That is Josh Conover now pulling down onto pit lane.
Love the paint scheme. Last time he ran it was in Pocono for the Phillies, and they're in the championship series. If you're actually tuning in right now to our coverage here of NORA and watching the Phillies broadcast at the same time, we thank you for taking a part out of that Phillies game to watch NORA.
Absolutely. No, you can go watch that baseball game later. Watch VirtualRacing.Network and the NORA Cup Series. You don't want to miss any of this great action that's going on right now.
Yeah, exactly.
Baseball games, they go on for hours. They go on for hours and hours into overtime and all the rest of that stuff. This is some sizzling hot action here in the desert as we've got Vincent Arthur putting on a clinic right now, up 1.63 seconds over Matthew George and John Cottle. But certainly, Christian, I know that you probably have the TV going over in the corner with the Phillies.
I actually don't. Surprisingly, I'm just waiting for some updates on my phone for the score. So that's what I'm waiting for here.
Well, Vinny Arthur into the pits right now, taking tires and fuel, and following suit, there's Jacob Bladelich. Zach Hollinger now comes in. A little bit of pink adorning that machine as well tonight.
Yeah, snazzy looking car, throwing it back to Jeff Burton.
Matthew George pitting out of the lead for the moment that he was in the lead. And Cottle, Jake Christenberry making a trip down pit lane to take their service as well.
Real quick, if we take a look at who's in the lead, it's the guy who was saving all race. It was Dustin Kleba. He's out front right now. Let's see if he's saved enough to win this stage or if he's going to have to pit, because we saw him backing it way down there toward the beginning of the race. Started on pole, fell back to about 15th on the track. So doing a great job so far at saving.
Well, certainly that would be a monster effort to be able to save several more laps than everybody else out there and be able to make it to the finish. But he does have a 1 second lead right now over Timmy Harper, who is, he himself is just so wanting to get that win here in NORA. It's been such a while coming, and I know he just wants to get that. Unfortunately, not part of this championship effort to possibly get himself a championship trophy here in the Cup Series right now, but he is fighting to get a win. And of course, racing for owner points out there always would be special and mean something to the car to be able to get all those points.
And this is the last opportunity to pit. We're now 2 to go in the stage. He got in right before pits were supposed to be closed, so that was a good stop there by Harper. He should be fine. But now that the pits are closed, if you run out of fuel here, probably going to bring out a caution. So you got to just kind of go for it and put the pedal to the floor and hope that you are able to get these points. You can see Kleba, Reeder, and Norman, 3 of those guys that were able to save. Harper had to pit, so a couple cars are going to end up passing him. Senchek, Gary Freeman Jr. passing him, Vincent Arthur. So a lot of these guys saved and a couple have pit already. But you see a couple people lap down still, so this is going to be pretty big.
Yeah, a couple of 9th place on back, now showing a lap down. So Kleba getting held up here by Ryan Bird. So we're just going to be coming to lap number 40 and the official stage break. I know Ryan Bird not wanting to get lapped right there. Cody Reeder in 2nd place. Ronnie Norman in 3rd. You should see that caution come out in just a moment.
Yeah, once about, I think, 7th place crosses the line, it should, because they have to let the top 10 cross. So since Conover and Cottle are already lapped down, it's going to be when 8th place crosses, which would be Ryan Bird. That's when the caution will come out. But right now, everybody's just backing it down. You're not allowed passing anybody after this the start-finish line. So you should see everybody stay in the position that they're at. It has the caution now does come out.
Well, your top 5 for that first stage: Dustin Kleba, Cody Reeder, Ronnie Norman, taking third. So Stormin Ronnie Norman goes from running in like 14th, 15th place there early on in the stage, and he comes through to get third. Very meaningful points, as does Cameron Thompson there in fourth, but fifth place belonging to another championship driver in Tom Senchek. So with that, we're going to take a moment here as everybody heads into the pits. We are going to head to commercial break. We will be right back in just about 20 or 30 seconds, and we'll try to get one of these drivers in for a quick interview. Stay tuned here on VirtualRacing.Network. And welcome back here on VirtualRacing.Network. So great to have you with us here live, and we get a chance to chat with the winner of the first stage, Dustin Kleba. Dustin, great job winning that first stage. I know it's going to mean a lot to you to get all of those points. What's your thoughts on the racetrack, and how's your race going so far?
Yeah, it's a little confusing. The way the fuel mileage has kind of worked out and the stage lengths have worked out, you kind of got to pick and choose on if you're going to shoot for be aggressive and try and get track position and hope a caution comes out, or save and hope a caution doesn't come out. So we picked right that first time, and caution didn't come out. We were able to save the whole time, and good old Ford EcoBoost got us enough gas mileage we needed. So yeah, we'll see. Hopefully we can start racing here instead of just saving fuel the whole time.
That was very impressive how you did that. Is that the plan, is to keep doing as much fuel saving, or can you tell us what the strategy is? Do you think it's going to go green all the way?
Man, I can't tell you my strategy. Drivers are listening to the stream. No, it really does change every single lap, just because it all depends on what everyone else is doing around me. So we'll see. I think this next stage here is going to be another close one, so we'll see what happens.
Well, we wish you best of luck. You took the first stage, maybe the second. We'll be talking to you after this one, I'm sure.
All right, thanks, guys.
That is Dustin Kleba, who managed to take the first stage, and he did it on fuel mileage, Christian. It's exactly what you said he was doing. He sat back there. He let everybody go by. We wondered, kind of like how far is he going to drop back in the field, but he knew exactly what he was doing. You hear him there, even in that shot, he was clutching and coasting. So he may be thinking he's going to do exactly the same thing here in the second stage.
Yeah, he could possibly do it, but we just saw the choose cone, and only 3 cars chose the outside. So everybody chose the inside. I don't know if they did it on purpose, but yeah, that outside very small.
That's kind of weird, don't you think? I mean, wouldn't you like to start further forward?
I'm guessing everybody that's starting on the bottom is just going to save fuel for the first like 5 or 6 laps of this run, and then they're going to push it. But green flag's back out here. Only 6 cars up here in the front. Everyone else is kind of saving fuel already. So interesting stuff here going on.
Well, definitely back underway, side by side, Senchek and Cameron Thompson. Thompson, who had a great first stage there, now fighting for position, 4th place. Thinks better of it. Vincent Arthur back in this one as well, currently running in 5th place.
Oh, you know what I just thought of? Everyone got the wave around, so that's why they were all on the bottom. Oh my goodness.
Oh, I see.
Half the field took wave arounds.
That is true. Pretty much everybody had a wave around with the way that things got racked up. He said, Dustin Kleba said in the interview, things are kind of confusing right now. And I imagine that's what he's talking about. He didn't quite know how everything was going to shake out. Look a little bit further back. We got some of these other drivers quite a lot further back. How about Cody Height? He was doing so great there in that first stage. He started to fall back. Currently running back here in 11th place. And championship driver Matthew George back in 16th place. So rough go a bit here. And it's interesting to see that some of these drivers still continue to struggle here.
Yeah, and our timing and scoring is trying to catch up with it too, because it looks like a lot of cars are like 5 seconds back, but I think they're in this same group. So, I don't know what's going on right now.
Like I was saying, we've been having multiple different technological things. We were just talking off camera about how trading paints has not been working properly, and having all kinds of other things. I can guarantee
you, is it a full moon again?
It could be a full moon, but we're definitely things are not saving correctly. They're not updating correctly, but we still get a chance to watch these beautiful machines roll around the desert here, and we're on lap number 48. And what else do you need to know? Dustin Kleba in the lead, Tom Senchek in 2nd, Vincent Arthur in 3rd, Cody Reeder in 4th place, Cameron Thompson in 5th. That's your top 5. Storm and Ronnie Norman up 2 positions so far, now up into that 6th place. But Vincent Arthur sends it to the outside on Tom Senchek. Is he going to get the position? Look it, there he is in 2nd place. Arthur making a move forward again, trying to creep up on his I mean, let's face it, his arch nemesis here in the NORA Cup Series, Dustin Kleba at KPR Motorsports.
Yeah, I guess arch nemesis is the best term. I mean, they had some getting together at Darlington, a little tempers flaring. So these two have battled pretty much all season, and we're going to get to see it here at Las Vegas. And this is a kind of a driver's track, so let's see which one of these is the better driver.
Well, it's you know, they've had their share of heavyweight prize fights here, championship deciding prize fights in Las Vegas, and this is one that the fans paid to see. I mean, look at those stands, absolutely chock-a-block.
Yeah, better than anything only Logan Paul can do.
Yeah, certainly. That's just amazing stuff. NORA Cup Series, standing room only, sellout crowds every single time they race, every week. It's really astounding that these drivers able to pack the stands like they do. And of course, we appreciate
the YouTube chat. Yeah,
I mean, the YouTube chat is even more impressive because those are real people.
They are,
and they're not just all of our accounts that we're just boosting those numbers with either. That is 12 different people watching simultaneously. We always appreciate it. We appreciate the likes as well, appreciate the subscribes. Everything is appreciated, and we just hope you're enjoying the coverage here as Vincent Arthur has arrived at Dustin Kleba's rear bumper, and he says, I'm not going to wait. I'm going to the outside. Is he going to try that outside line and take the position? Say hello to first place, number 24, Vincent Arthur. Dustin Kleba says, okay, well, I'm still up here saving fuel, so maybe I'll go back now.
Yeah, that was a good right hook there by Vincent Arthur to get by him. Talking about prize fighting there, but yeah, I think Dustin, he's going to easily let him by, and he's going to say, yeah, I'll just ride in your draft and save fuel even more, thanks.
Absolutely. In the meantime, Dustin starting to get a little thirsty for a Pepsi for some reason. He's going to have a lot of riding around to do behind that machine in front.
Yeah, his entire screen is going to be pink here if he gets any closer.
Oh.
There it is.
Clutching and coasting. Dustin Kleba kills the RPMs coming into the corner.
I knew it was going to happen. These guys they went back green with about 38 to go, so you're going to have to do a little bit of saving here.
Well, he's not doing it in 3 and 4, and perhaps he's trying to maintain that gap. He's also got Tom Senchek about to arrive on the scene, so he may be aware of that, although last stage he didn't seem to care so much. Here he's not clutching and coasting through turns 1 and 2, but he certainly did last time, and maybe that was just a test because we haven't been necessarily on board with him each time.
Yeah, so what he's doing is he's getting a huge run with the draft off of Vincent, and then he'll clutch that next corner, but then the next few corners he'll be full throttle until he gets back up to Vincent's bumper, and then he'll go back to saving. This is good strategy here from Dustin. He knows what he's doing out there, and I think this is going to work for probably another stage win unless Vincent somehow can save fuel while leading, but that's a tough task. Usually whenever you're that second car or third car in line, you're able to save a lot more.
Well, if we're really looking at it, though, in that first stage, we saw Dustin kind of slide backwards. We saw Cody Height come forward. We saw a number of drivers, John Cottle as well. Wow, is this Kleba now maybe making a pass, or is this Vincent Arthur deciding to save a little bit of fuel himself?
Yeah, I think that's Vincent also saving fuel there. I think he clutched it as well as Dustin, and Dustin was expecting to stay behind him, and he just kind of sailed it a little bit further. Dumped the clutch a little later there. And I tell you what, some of these drivers, they do have buttons where they can shut off the ignition and completely kill the engine completely. Instead of having about 1,000 RPMs, maybe a little less than 1,000, they have 0 completely. But you have to have that button mapped, and that's the best way to save fuel. You probably get about an extra lap if you have that ignition switch mapped on your wheel.
Of course, everybody looking for the competitive advantage, and especially in a series like this where the differences are so minute in terms of setup and car and etc. Certainly you got to find every competitive advantage that you can find. There goes Dustin Kleba down to the low side.
I think he said, I'm tired of having nothing but pink in my face. I'm going to go by here.
I'm getting really thirsty, and I'm getting sick of it.
Senchek's now up into this little grouping here. He's bringing Ronnie Norman, Cody Reeder, Conover, Thompson into this. Kind of everyone getting back into one pack now.
It's interesting to see this group kind of rejoining. As we look from overhead here.
You got about 8 cars within 3 seconds of each other. Everyone else kind of doing that very strong save strategy where they're going to be guaranteed to have extra fuel at the end of the stage, which is going to come out on lap 80. So whenever we see that lap 79, that's the white flag. So we're about 15, 16 laps away from that now.
Well, Senchek is right there. He's now on the outside of Kleba, and Kleba has not been able to overtake Vincent Arthur, and now Senchek going to try to overtake Kleba. If Kleba's not careful, he'll be sliding back to third place. And he may be okay with that. I mean, it certainly depends on how heavy he's saving and what his plans are for this stage, because
yeah, speaking of his plans, he didn't want to give those up, did he? I tell you, if he would have, we might have known what he's planning right here, but he did not give those up. And, you know, of course, Dustin's not going to give that out. I don't think any driver is going to want to give their strategy out because I think, you know, we have 12 viewers, and I think about 6 or 7 of those are drivers that are in this field because they get that extra information. Like some of them might have not even known that they could get 35, possibly 40 laps until I mentioned it. So they use this broadcast for a lot of information throughout the race.
Well, Senchek now sends that late apex machine forward, and he has safely gotten by Kleba, but now he's going to try to get by Arthur as well. Arthur fighting to hold on to that lead, and definitely I did ask Kleba what his plans are, and he could be like Josh Conover and just straight up lie to your face and just tell you I'm going to do X or Y when he really does Z. But
he plays chess when everyone else plays checkers.
It's true. Wow, Kleba got real loose there.
Yeah, I think he was in the throttle a little bit too much to stay on the outside there of Senchek. We'll have to ride on board here and see how much of a handful. This camera, of course, on the headrest beside the driver, so this is as close as you're going to get to seeing what they see as he taps the wall.
My goodness, Christian, that is, I mean, you talk about almost binning it. Now, I know Kleba is well known for his car handling skills, but that's about as close to throwing away a potential race win as you want to get.
Yeah, that was that was dangerous. I mean, he tapped it with the right rear, though, so I think that's going to be perfectly fine if you do that. We saw Kyle Larson do it in real life and went on to win the race.
Yeah.
So you can definitely abuse that right rear a little bit, but too much, you might break that toe link. So
well,
don't worry if you're a Kleba fan. He's still all right.
Look just behind, though. Here comes Ronnie Norman up into this mix. Cody Reeder is there as well. So now we've got 5 cars in this mix for the lead again.
How about Cody Reeder? He's down there in the Truck Series going for a championship. Decided on the off week to run Cup Series out here at Las Vegas for that KPR Motorsports Ford. Doing a pretty good job here, top 5. He's had some rough luck in the Cup Series throughout the season. Been involved in a couple of crashes, but looking pretty good so far here at Las Vegas.
Well, again, nothing would make him feel better than to go out there and actually really help his teammate Dustin Kleba to get a win and secure his place into the Final Four.
Yeah, I mean, I think if you're Kleba, though, you see Cody Reeder join, you're kind of like, oh, man, is he going to take me out again? I think 3 or 4 times this season, Cody Reeder has wrecked, and it's collected Kleba.
It's a statistic that I'm sure Reeder would like to see go away, but it has happened, and it's been right here on VirtualRacing.Network as Senchek continues again to try to work around Kleba and is unable to do so, and now Reeder has joined this fight, and is Reeder going to go on the high side and go side by side with Kleba, his teammate?
It looks like he's maybe going to stick behind his teammate, help him out a little bit, save as much fuel as he is. But I tell you what, Reeder's passion behind the wheel, I don't think it competes with anyone else. I raced with him at Pocono, and he actually yelled at me during the race. And then a few weeks later, when I won Talladega, he was the first one to congratulate me. So in the heat of the moment, he's very passionate, but he's a nice guy out there.
And that it's kind of a lot of us. Nice outside the car, but when that visor comes down, it is laser focus on the job at hand.
It is.
Ronnie Norman right now looks on as this battle continues for the top 4 in front of him. Lap number 72. We've got about another 7 laps until we see this one come to the caution for the stage break.
Yeah, I was about to say, speak of laser focused, It's that 33 and that 8. They know what they were doing. Matthew George is a lap down. He's got to be the lucky dog. So he's in that position right now. So hopefully he's able to get that, because he's one of those playoff drivers that needs this.
Well, and here's another guy that has been kind of quiet so far this race, sitting outside the top 5, Ryan Bird. Guy who has had several wins this season and is looking to get a win here in the playoffs.
Cody Reeder goes by Senchek now for second. Look at this move.
Interesting. He's taking the fight to him. Perhaps the strategy here is, if everyone else is going to save fuel, I'm going to go up there and fight hard. Not a bad idea to have a split strategy going on in the team, and it might help to keep the competition a little bit more honest, but...
Yeah. Well, what he's doing right now is he's making Senchek and Vincent push their stuff and burn fuel, whereas Kleba can just run in Reeder's draft and save fuel still. So this is a good move, as, I mean, he almost turned Senchek on that backstretch while I was talking there. He bumped him a few times. We saw Senchek get a little sideways, but now he's going to get underneath him here and possibly clear him here into 1 and 2. We'll have to see if he's able to fight back on the outside, but he's not. Move Reeder to second.
Well, Senchek fighting a bit of a loose condition. Reeder not seeming to have quite as bad of a tire condition out there, but Vincent Arthur, in the meantime, able to walk away a little bit. Almost had, I believe that was Guileless.
We got a lawnmower. There he is.
That is Guileless.
Oh, you know what? He's got the Subaru WRC livery, so he was just doing some off-road. That's all he was doing.
Oh, okay.
Sponsor plug there.
Sure. Well,
he was doing some rallycross in the infield.
Gotta make the sponsors happy. It's not really how we do it in the asphalt racing world, but whatever Guileless wants to do.
It's his world.
It's his world. So Vincent Arthur, in the meantime, clipping off the laps, but is he going to be able to stay out there on the fuel that he has, or is he going to have to pull into the pits?
Well, the worry more so is, if you have enough fuel, do you have enough fuel for those 2 pace laps after the caution? Because you got to get around and get into the pits and not go a lap down. And if you pit early, you're going to get an end-of-the-line penalty, which a lot of those guys we saw start on the inside did that. They had to come in because they didn't have enough fuel.
I think I'd take that end-of-the-line penalty, to be honest. I'd take the points out of the stage, and then I would take the end-of-the-line penalty, but it's easier said than done, because then you're looking at...
Did Vincent just get in the wall? I think... Oh, he's out. I think he's out of fuel, maybe?
Is he out?
I don't know. He's really off the throttle if he's not.
Is he doing an emergency save?
I think he got into the wall and is doing an emergency save. I don't know. That was weird. I mean, he lost 2 positions very quickly, and you can see he's still high RPM, so I think he tagged the wall.
Must have tagged the wall. Oh my goodness me.
Oh.
Bird coming
That's
through.
For a playoff position.
That's
1 point.
That is very important points playing out right now, as we're just about to see the stage break.
Oh, I think Vincent's going to get him. He got him.
And Vincent got him at the line, but Bird made a valiant effort. Dustin Kleba going to have to settle for 6th place back here in this stage. Cameron Thompson in 7th, Josh Conover in 8th place. Gary Freeman Jr. getting a solid 9th place there in this stage.
Yeah, this is his strategy. I talked to him before the race. I said, just go out there, run nice and smooth, save your fuel, just be in the top 10 for the first 2 stages. That way you're on the lead lap for the last stage, and sure enough, he's one of only 10 cars on the lead lap right now. 11 cars.
That is some solid running. Timmy Harper making up 10th place there. But back to it, Cody Reeder. How about Cody coming through the field, able to pass everybody? Something happened with Vincent Arthur, and Cody Reeder able to snag the stage victory here in the NORA Cup Series. Tom Senchek, the first of the championship drivers, and then Vincent Arthur, Ryan Bird, Ronnie Norman, and then finally Dustin Kleba in the championship chase, taking that position. So as these drivers will pull it in and take on tires and fuel for not the final time, but for probably the second to final time here tonight, we're going to take a momentary break. We'll be right back and try and snag another driver interview. Don't go anywhere here on VirtualRacing.Network. And welcome back here on VirtualRacing.Network. It's Gary Freeman Jr. who decided to stay out there, and as a result, he's still going to need to pit and take on all the goodies like everyone else, but now he's finally coming down onto pit road. Cody Reeder took that second stage victory. Congratulations. We now have Cody joining us here on VirtualRacing.Network Live. Cody, hey, congratulations. You stormed right through the field and kind of passed everybody and got up there and took the stage victory. Congratulations.
Yeah, thanks. Just kind of let them battle and save my stuff and got the stage win.
Well, we saw you going up there. We were trying to figure out exactly what your strategy was working with your teammate Dustin Kleba. We know that hasn't always worked out perfectly, but what was the talk? Was it just to go up there and try and make everybody maybe use up their stuff and you might be able to take over the lead, or was there a strategy going forward in there?
Kind of, yeah. I mean, every time I'm in these races, my goal is to help Dustin win, but in nights like tonight where I've got speed and, you know, I was definitely faster than him there, and I basically asked, like, what do you want me to do here? You want to try to push you? You want me to, I think I can win the stage win. Would that help you more? And he's like, hey, I go try to win the stage. So passed him and luckily got the win. And so it's a KPR Motorsports stage sweep, so we can get another one.
Well, other than that, how's the track feeling to you? We've seen a lot of guys getting loose out there. Have you experienced that? Is there something you're doing to try to keep the car from going around on you?
It's loose for sure. I mean, it all has to do with throttle play and where you're lifting for the corner and how aggressive you are on the gas. And so, yeah, there's definitely some. You have to drive these things. It's been fun, but a little bit different than the trucks that I run normally. But I got used to it a little bit in practice. That first stage kind of came to me a little bit and was just learning there for a couple of laps there, and then it just kept gripping. So yeah, it's good. Hopefully we can put it together, and if Dustin can't win, hopefully I can get to victory lane.
Well, that would be phenomenal. We'll let you get back to it, work with your teammate, and I'm sure we'll be chatting with you at the end of this race. Good luck.
Thank you.
That is Cody Reeder for KPR Motorsports in his number 85 Ford, who took that second stage. And Christian, it was pretty impressive, and it didn't really pan out for Dustin Kleba to max out those points either. So now what you're saying though, Christian, is we're going to have a very interesting situation with potential fuel mileage here in this third and final stage.
Yeah, indeed we are. We got about 76 to go, and we know that fuel range is about 40 laps, so these guys are going to have to figure out where they want to split this last stage in half, but everyone's going to try to split it and make it one stop to the end here. So we'll have to see which lap that'll be. I know me personally, I would pit on lap about 121. I think we'll see a lot of these guys pit.
Well, put your bets in on whether we're going to go green to the end of this
And
one.
we're under caution.
And we have a caution.
Good job,
already.
Trevor.
I jinxed us and I didn't even say it. Justin Moody did something to bring out this yellow. I see that Peyton Tulloch also having an off track, perhaps to avoid. Let's see if we can figure out. There's Moody just ahead of Tulloch.
All right, everything's running smooth. Oh, massive checkup.
Massive accordion there, and
yes, that typically happens when someone's going to lay back a little bit and try to jump the restart, and you can see. Let's see who might be at fault here, up in the field there. Looks like everybody's pretty well together. We'll have to see exactly what happens here. I mean, you can see Moody's leaving about a car length there, so he's going to jump the start, get a good run here, and then not able to check up in time. Man, that's a hard hit.
I mean, that was a massive checkup. It would have been hard even if you were on it. That would have been very difficult to avoid a checkup there.
If we can get like a blimp cam and zoom like out on the field and see maybe who caused that checkup up in front of them, it happened around maybe Tim Harper, I would want to say, around that area.
We got Matthew George in there, and that's Kyle Rochelle in the 27. And in front, that's Guylis.
Oh, so there it was.
I mean, it really is an accordion. I mean, it's just the worst case accordion effect, and really, it looks violent, but nobody did anything really wrong there. It just was one driver after another getting harder and harder on the brakes.
Well, yes and no, because they were given about a half a car length to a car length in between each car, especially this big gap right here in front, and that's Gary Freeman Jr. That's a pretty big gap between him and Cody Height, so that could be a penalty laying back this far. Let's see if this is possibly the cause of it. You see Cody Height starts going. So no, I don't know. I guess it was maybe behind him. So
Christian, this also brings to light one thing that you've talked about in the past, and that is with all of those drivers lining up on just one side, this effectively becomes a single car restart or single line restart. And I know you are really against the single file restart.
Yeah, for the longest time there, Icon was doing it, and I was not a fan of the single file restart. I made that very, very vocal. But yeah, whenever you're doing that, you just can't see checkups in front of you because the cars are so big. You can't see over that spoiler to see what the car in front of you is doing. So if there is a checkup like what we just saw, there's no way you can know unless you have a live spotter saying checkup, or even someone in the race yelling checkup. So there's just no way of knowing until it happens.
Well, what this does, though, with this caution is it does ease the fuel mileage concerns just a little bit here going forward. In fact, this may satisfy whatever on-edge fuel mileage situation there may have been. And in fact, this could completely change some of these driver strategies going forward. We had been green flagged all the way, and I mean, that's a checkup coming to the start finish. That was not like a contact during the race type caution there. But if you go back to Sunday night, we were caution free. Here tonight, we were mostly caution free. I think maybe some of these drivers starting to think, hey, this could go caution free to the end, but now they have to change that strategy up. And if you look now, this is quite a deep double file restart as we come to the green flag here tonight.
Yeah, everybody was on the lead lap now, and they didn't have any penalties from pit road, so they're all in the same line, or not in the same line, all in the same strategy now, was the word I was looking for. So we do have one lap left here under caution. But I think what we're going to see now is we're going to probably see about lap 122, 123 to guarantee yourself to make it to the end. But those who are going to push it that first stint, you're going to see them come in at about 125 to be 100% certain that you can make it to the end.
Absolutely. Should be an absolute fantastic end to this race. Going to open up some different doors to how drivers want to be able to run the end of this race. And it's a great time to also talk about the fact that if you're not already subscribed, hey, we have so much great action going on. This is the heat of the playoffs right now going on. And next week is Homestead, and there's so much great racing coming up next week. Icon Cup Series on Sunday night. We've got the NORA Truck Series on Monday night. And then, of course, the NORA Cup Series at Homestead next week on Tuesday night. And we are well into it, very much staring down the end of this season. And that championship trophy is getting closer and closer to being in the hands of one of these drivers.
Yeah, I'm curious if there's going to actually be a trophy this season. A couple of seasons we haven't had a trophy. I know mine's sitting right beside me while I'm sitting here from season 1, and I like to brag about that every chance I get. So hopefully someone does get that physical trophy this year. It'd be really cool.
It would be nice either way. Just knowing that you take victory here in such a difficult series is where it's at. Cody Reeder leading us back to the green flag at Las Vegas Motor Speedway.
Yeah, and that was definitely team orders. That was, all right, let me drop in front of you on the restart. But now Kleba says, all right, well, I had a little bit of a better run, so I'm going to take the lead, bud. There he goes. Now Cody Reeder is going to be a blocking car the entire rest of this race, possibly. As no, Bird's going to get underneath him already.
Bird and Senchek on a push to come forward. Here comes Cameron Thompson down on the low line. Is he going to make it through wide? No, he's not. You see Vincent Arthur back there now working on the low side on Josh Conover.
Man, where was this aggression out of Cameron when it was in a must-win situation? He's looking pretty good out here right now.
It's that's the question that he'll have to ask himself in the offseason. What could he have done different? A lot of these drivers asking the same question, as only 8 of them are in this championship hunt going forward. But right now, Senchek under attack from, or actually Reeder under attack from Senchek, and he will send it down the outside. It's now 2x2 from second place on back to 8th.
Is that Josh Conover I see peeking into the top 5 already?
You know, I was going to mention him earlier, but it's just like he's just the stealth back there, just waiting for his opportunity. It's the cat waiting to pounce. It's in the catbird seat, as Larry Mack likes to say, or was it DW? One of the two.
One of the two, yeah. I'm guessing he probably has the Phillies game up beside him, especially since he's in a Philadelphia Phillies paint scheme there. So I think he's got the game up beside him, multitasking.
He's up into third now. He must be feeling it. He's got the Phillies on one screen. He's got his Call of Duty and MLB on another screen, and he's got this game going on in the center screen. So he's got it all. This is Josh Conover, Flatline Motorsports, only racing for owner points, but he is up in this mix right now on the inside of Cameron Thompson, and following behind Cody Reeder into turn 3 and 4 here as they come now through the tri-oval, but Conover settles back into 5th place. And Cameron Thompson still racing on the outside. Meanwhile, Dustin Kleba has opened up this gap. Again, you got to ask yourself, is it too much too early? Kleba suffering from those tire issues at the end of the second stint last time, and a number of drivers suffering from those issues. Tom Senchek now holding on to that second spot, but again, how much to apply and how early, and will there be more cautions? Too many questions to sort out with this many laps to go.
Yeah, and my answer to all those questions is yes, because I do not know.
The old just say yes and bluff your way through it, and just wake up.
Vegas, isn't it?
It's yeah, sure. Bluff and bluff and bluff until you win, and all those chips are sitting in front of you. There's Vincent Arthur right now,
battling with his kind of team owner over there, Josh Conover.
Indeed, but of course, Josh very well aware of the picture that Josh is racing for owner points and Vincent is racing for the championship, and Josh is going to do everything he can to try to let Vincent go out there and get that win.
Nah, if a win's on the table, Josh Conover's taking it. I can guarantee you that, because it's better for Josh to win than if Kleba or Senchek goes out there and wins, because that guarantees those guys to Phoenix. But if Josh wins, 2 drivers will be guaranteed to make it on points. So that gives Vincent a better chance.
But if Vincent wins, then he gets into Phoenix.
Yeah, that's true. But
if Vincent can't win,
yeah,
I know that Josh is going to go up there and fight for that win for sure.
Yeah, he'll crash the car trying if he doesn't.
Cameron Thompson, though, as you mentioned, fighting real hard there in that number 2.
I talk about a spoiler.
Yeah, absolutely. It is an absolute spoiler. I mean, if a driver who is not in this championship fight goes up there and wins the race, it really does throw a wrench into things, because a lot of these drivers, they're used to this win and you're in system. And, you can win this race and then basically take the next 2 races off and not even have to worry about going out there and going out and getting the points that's necessary to win. But for some of these drivers, especially if you're further down in the order, their only real way to get in is to win. And like right now, it's on for drivers like Tom Senchek, who are at the bottom end of that list in terms of points. It may not be so easy to go out there and outpoint everybody, because Vincent Arthur starts with a whole bunch of points. So it's kind of like, I need this win. It doesn't, I can't count on outpointing everybody else.
Well, I'll tell you what, the battle is on right now, because while you were talking there, Vincent kind of doored Senchek there a little bit while he was battling him. It caused him to move back a little bit, and now Josh Conover kind of on his bumper. Maybe he's saying, you know what, let me go up there and race Senchek, because I got less to lose than you do, so let me go up there, let me battle him, then you come on by. But Vincent says, no, I'll take care of it.
Well, Vincent settling into a bit of a groove now, sitting in 4th place. Cameron Thompson up there in 2nd. Tom Senchek in 3rd. But Josh Conover now running around in 5th place, and he's up 10 spots so far here tonight. Just trying to do whatever he can to either help his teammate out, try to win this championship, or as you said, if he's feeling faster, he may go up there, make that pass, and try to go take this win himself.
It's the same thing that Kleba mentioned in his interview. He saw that Kleba wasn't going to be able to win that stage, so the second best thing would be him going up and winning that stage, so that no one else gets that playoff point to advance them into the Final Four.
Well, this is Matthew George looking back at Brady Motes for Ready to Wreck Racing. We haven't talked much about Brady, but there he is up in the top 10.
Yeah, I was joking with him earlier in the day, and we were talking about Las Vegas odds, and he said, what are my odds? And I put him at plus 1,800, because he does have that sneaky ability to get up there and get that top 5, so he could punch his ticket here tonight at Vegas.
Well, a number of
odds, guys, you know?
A number of drivers absolutely fighting for that opportunity.
And he's in that championship hunt still, so.
I tell you, it's every time I make an adjustment, it seems to adjust 2 other drivers. So apologize to some of these drivers who were in the championship and were not correctly listed. But we'll double check everything and make sure we get it as correct as possible. Now it looks like Brady Motes suffering a little bit, as here comes Ronnie Norman on the outside.
Well, that's Mr. I Save Tires all run. So here he comes. He's putting those tires to use now. He's going to start driving by people on the outside like it's nothing. Well, he's on a Sunday cruise right now on a Tuesday.
We did see him up there in the top 5 earlier as well, and I don't think it'll be a surprise to see him now cruise up there towards that top 5. But again, once you get there, you got to you got to do something pretty special to get by some of these drivers who have been running at the front most of this race. Look at this battle going on a little bit further back, 3 wide into the corner.
Yeah, Peyton Tulloch way up the track, and here comes Chad Engel kind of in the middle of this right here. He's still clear high. He chooses to stay down and kind of take Everett Kautz's lane away, makes him back out of it, and get up there and battle these guys now between Peyton, Rochelle, and Chad here. Oates just ahead of this, but he's pulling away from these guys now. That these guys are side by side, he's just smooth sailing.
Well, tight battles throughout the field right now. Everybody trying to get as maximum of points as they can out of this race. Again, as we talked about, I mean, there's only so many races coming up here. So this is the time right now to get those points and be able to improve your position in the championship, finish out this season on a high note. Even if you're not in this championship hunt, it's better to finish in 9th place than it is in 12th. It's better to finish in 15th than 20th. Any of those types of scenarios are playing on different drivers' minds right now in the NORA Cup Series as they're coming forward. But Vincent Arthur right now sitting in 4th, Josh Conover in 5th, Dustin Kleba still holding on to the lead, and these drivers are still close enough that should something materialize. We've got a yellow flag happening right now.
If we're close enough for what? What were you about to say there?
For something substantial happening, and I believe it's Kyle Rochelle. There's Peyton Tulloch heading down and Kyle Rochelle in the pits.
I tell you what, these guys are beating you to your curse. You were about to say something about it, and then something happens.
Second time that's
Second
happened.
time, yeah. Let's see what happens here to Tulloch. He's going to get high here, gets loose. Yeah, Rochelle nowhere to go there. A little bit of World Rallycross Championship going on there for the 1 car too.
I got to talk to Nick Geilis about securing some of that sponsorship.
Yeah, he was bouncing more than they were bouncing at the Roval last week.
Well, let's take one more look again from on board. This is with Tulloch, and we can see from his inputs exactly what's going on with that machine.
I'm going to guess he's going to cross that top seam right there with his left side tires, and then, yeah, it's going to get loose there. He's going to go around. Those seams, man, I'm telling you. I've been saying it all season. The tracks that have those seams, it's like ice whenever you get your left rear tire on it.
Definitely, and something that a lot of these drivers, it's not that they don't remember it, it's that you find yourself in that position and or maybe forget, don't put myself into this position. Unfortunately for Kyle Rochelle, this is not going to be his race to take victory at Las Vegas.
Was that Tim Harper? I think that was Tim Harper with a big hit into Kyle Rochelle.
I'm not sure, but Cody Height was back there at 17th position as well. So,
it was either Tim Harper or possibly Gladelich, because I saw a yellow car zoom by there, and I think they're both in yellow cars. So,
well, let's see here. Cottle sitting there on pit road. Was it Harp?
I think it was.
Yes, in fact, it would have been. Here he is. He'll see this happen right in front of him.
Oh, man.
Oh.
Just nowhere to go.
Disaster for Harper at Harper Motorsports. Massive crunch there. And I have a feeling if we get a tight camera on the nose on that machine, that is a busted front of that machine.
And he can't catch a break. I'm hoping for the guy to get a win here so that he can move up into the Cup Series next season, so I don't have to deal with him down in the Truck Series. Because it's kind of a respect thing, because if I battle him for the Truck Championship, I know if I'm even anywhere near, I'm going to the Final Four against him probably next year. So he needs to move up. He needs to go up the Cup, man.
Well, some drivers like to drive them trucks, and they like hanging out in the trucks, and maybe that's that's his bread and butter. But we'll see how it all plays out 2024. I know there's a lot of movement around, and it's still so far out to even think that, I mean, we're putting it together for next season, but here we are in middle of
the
October.
craziest news so far, Ronnie Norman not running for points next season. This is his final season running for points. Next year, he's going to be on the road, won't be able to race. So he's more desperate than anyone to get into that Final Four and run for that championship at Phoenix.
Well, that is some interesting news, and sad to hear, as Ronnie has been so active and successful here in the NORA Cup Series. But I certainly understand myself, as you do the competitive thing, and it does take a lot of your time, and it really is difficult sometimes. I know that in an open setup series, I was spending so much time grinding setups and doing practice. I mean, literally spending hundreds of hours a week, or a month, excuse me. Like at least 20 plus hours a week, grinding a setup and practicing, and then you get down to race time, and I mean, sometimes it's just a crapshoot as to whether or not you actually end up, even having a chance at it. Maybe you get taken out, or, so it gets very frustrating with how much time you spend to prepare for those races. And certainly, even in a fixed series, you're going to spend a lot of time practicing. You're going to spend a lot of time doing admin stuff and communicating. And then when it comes down to the race, you got to dedicate the entire race night. And especially if you have traveling or other things in your life going on, it's a difficult thing to dedicate that many weeks in a row.
Well, not to mention the money that goes into it too. I don't know if you mentioned that, but I mean, iRacing isn't free. So these guys, they have to pay for that. They pay for the league too whenever they begin the season. So the money, the time, and effort that goes into this, to come down to like a 1-point situation that could end your season, that's huge for that long of a season. But that's why these guys put so much time and effort into maximizing their performance. As we see Gary Freeman, he's staying out there. And this time he didn't pit, and he's our leader, that full send 55.
Well, that's certainly putting his gamble down. All of it on red, it appears, here tonight, or perhaps black, depending on what your preference is. But Freeman hasn't been into the pits for a while, but he's going to lead us back to the green flag. Gets good run. Gets good jump there. Kleba on his tailgate, and Senchek gets left behind there, now dropping back to third with Vincent Arthur in fourth, now making a challenge to the inside on Senchek. Here comes Kleba to the outside. He's got the fresher tires, and Gary Freeman running people all over the place. Arthur having to take massive evasive action.
Yeah, he was trying to stay low there for I believe Vincent Arthur. And Vincent was already kind of underneath him. He wanted to go low to give him a clear spot. There goes Everett Couts. I think he saved it, though.
He did, in fact, save it, but what a wild ride Couts just took. Gary Freeman dropping like a rock, now back into 11th place. And there's,
oh, man, he's in the blender.
My goodness me. Freeman
How
dropping.
about a debut for that, man? You come out here first race and stay out, and this is how important tires are. I mean, he's getting driven around. Now he gets tipped into the grass here, saves it. Oh, my.
Well, I have a feeling that...
And now he's in last on the lead lap. That's how quick things can change with these tires, man.
First to last in like 2 laps, so I imagine that debrief meeting over full send is going to be quite interesting with Gary tonight.
Yeah, let's not do that again in the future there, Gary.
Take the tires. It's not a bad thing. Josh Conover right now goes to the outside there through the tri-oval, not the preferred line, but Vincent Arthur up into third. How about fastest lap of the race? Vincent Arthur, 30.11.
That is moving around this track. So what, Kleba holding that bottom line, it's going to cause Senchek to get a little bit tight on these corners. He's going to have to change it up and try that outside lane if it's there right now. Maybe see it in this corner here. You can see he's moving up the track already, getting that clean air to the nose. Now he's going to try to drive under him, cross him over, get a good run on the backstretch. But Vincent Arthur, he doesn't even need that. He's just full send on the bottom, just pushing it as hard as he can. You can see though that wake is getting him tight there. He pushed up the track just ever so slightly when he got close to that 26 car. There you go. They're moving up the track even more. Kleba kind of took a defensive line, moved up that track. Now Conover underneath Vincent. Senchek with a run on Kleba here for the lead to the outside.
Sends it to the outside, not quite able to have enough momentum to take that position. But he makes his presence known. Senchek, Senchek hasn't taken a win here, and he's one of the only drivers over there at Late Apex who has not yet, with Dakota Moniz able to do so. And of course, Ryan Bird taking several victories during the regular season. Kyle Rochelle also would love to get into that win column. But Senchek has been so close, and here he is in the championship. And everybody is essentially equal with the exception of the extra points that you come into this round of 8 with. But Senchek holding his own amongst the biggies. This is Dustin Kleba with a whole stack of wins during the season. And Vincent Arthur, there is no hotter driver in NORA right now than Vincent Arthur. And Senchek has been holding his own all race long against these two heavyweights here.
And just looking at it, at the points, Vincent Arthur, he has a very large gap to the cutoff line. He's got about, I think about 75, if I'm not mistaken, if my math is correct. I mean, that's a lot of points.
Yeah.
So he's the safest out here, but Dustin Kleba would be second. I think he's about plus 50 or 60 above that cutoff. So those two are safe, but Senchek, he's down there struggling without a win. He doesn't have those points to lean back on. So he's got to go out here and finish these races and get a win to lock himself in.
Well, you talk about safe. Here comes Vincent Arthur down on the low side. Is he going to be able to pull it off this time? Arthur side by side into the corner. They exit out onto that front straightaway, and it's Senchek who pulls the advantage. And he'll pull across the front nose here of Vincent Arthur. But, one thing to consider here is it may be safe, and technically on paper it is safe with the amount of points that he has coming in here. Vincent Arthur, it's pretty safe, but one false move, anybody makes a false move, or you get it loose and you get it wrong. I mean, he's out there, he's fighting for the win, and things can happen when you're up there fighting for these positions and you're going fast. And if he crashes out, for example, Arthur or Kleba, they crash out of this race, any advantage that they have is gone.
Yeah, not to mention we do still have green flag pit stop. So if you have an issue on pit road for this last green flag pit stop, I mean, it could ruin your entire championship hunt. So you got to be absolutely perfect from here on out. Don't make any mistakes, and that's what Vincent's trying to do. But Vincent's the type of guy that even though he's going to drive safe, he's going to still try to win.
Absolutely. No, he isn't going to protect it. He's not going to lay up, as they say in golf. He is going to try to take this one to the win column and secure that place into the final round.
Yeah, we're talking driver off the fairway type play here for Vincent Arthur.
Each and every time, and it's what he's known for. Going out there, going fast. That's his game. It's not the same as what Ronnie Norman does, where he goes out there, saves the tires, kind of the Mark Martin approach.
Yeah. Speaking of which, here he comes into that top 5 battle. He's slowly reeling in Cody Reeder.
Well.
Oh, Josh Conover really sideways. Saves it. My goodness. That was a caution that didn't happen right there. I tell you that. He was about maybe 45 degrees sideways there off the bumper of Cody Reeder, and he was still able to save it.
Well, Conover able to finally get it going again, but not before he loses the position. Gary Freeman Jr. having an issue.
I think he's making his green flag stop here. Possibly. He might have spun out trying to get into pit road. Maybe.
This was just a moment ago here.
Oh, yeah. Something very wrong with that car there.
And that's not how to do it. But he does get it righted and pulls it into pit lane. And again, Gary's not doing too much NASCAR stuff. Of course, we had the pleasure on another network of calling a race that Gary was running a GT3 in. And he does a lot of road course racing. I'm just happy to get in here and do some more NASCAR racing with these big guns here in the NORA Cup Series. And he's done a pretty decent job. He managed to stay on the lead lap. He managed to get up there in the lead for a moment on pit strategy. Pretty interesting.
Scare the entire field.
Hey.
You know, staying out. No, but he messaged me, and we were talking. He actually has seen NORA in the past and was kind of a fan of the racing. And I messaged him and I said, hey, if you want to come over and race, I'll give you the opportunity and see if you can run with these guys and handle it if you want to run. And he said, sure, absolutely.
Well, just let you know that reputation getting out there, and I know I've gotten a lot of comments. As we see Cody Reeder slowing very rapidly to get onto pit road here and get his green flag stop done. There's Josh Conover just behind to do the same, but it's amazing. I've talked to quite a few people who are like, oh yeah, I've popped in and seen a couple of those NORA broadcasts. I've really appreciated it. And I'm kind of like, really? You have? Oh, okay. That's awesome. But
yeah, I mean, me being a driver, I was kind of surprised, like hearing that people, other than family members and friends come out here and watch this. And, for me, I didn't expect it at all, but he said, yeah, I've been watching NORA for years before I was even on iRacing. It kind of helped me get into iRacing, so that's huge for this league.
No, we definitely do get our share of casual sim racing fans that do pop in. We appreciate all of you who watch us over on YouTube, whether it's live or it's on replay. We appreciate it. Of course, you can check out all of this season's action from about April onwards here on VirtualRacing.Network in our playlist on YouTube, and certainly check that out.
Yeah, which I mentioned it to Josh, and he didn't know there was a playlist, and he went back and he was like, oh wow, this is actually really cool. I like this playlist.
Yeah, it's keeping it chronologically. You can go back and binge watch the whole thing, so set aside about oh my goodness, look at this race here for first place. This is between Vincent Arthur and Ryan Bird. But yeah, set aside, a solid 40-hour week and just kick back and enjoy.
Yeah, it's about 2 hours per race, and there's over 20 races. So yeah, that's a good 40, 50 hours of watching, but it's worth it. I mean, this season has been phenomenal. I think best in the NORA history, if I do say so myself.
Without a doubt, and it's been a lot of fun to cover it. Races like this, racers like this, Ryan Bird, kind of late comer into the series, and his team, Late Apex Racing, making a big arrival and being a very organized team. Of course, Flatline being here since the beginning and dominating the early portion of this season, but having to face all kinds of challengers over the course of the season. It's been a very interesting story to watch unfold as we get, I believe Ryan Bird is going to continue around for another lap, and now Vincent Arthur going to pull it down onto pit lane.
I believe most of the teams that are in NORA now weren't here at the beginning. I think only 3 teams that are still here were in since season 1. and that's Flatline, Full Send, and Brian Powell Motorsports. So those 3 teams have been here for 5 years and still running strong.
Indeed, and even occasionally see the check-in from Brian Powell himself.
And speaking of which, here comes his driver, Chad Engel, pulling it in.
Yeah, he was
making his green flag stop.
Running up in 3rd place for a moment there, but bringing it down. Yeah. Former championship driver in one of the previous rounds, but getting cut here for this round of 8.
Yeah, Snyder Graphics helping him out with that paint scheme there this week.
Well, maybe we should get a tighter shot on that machine. There you go.
There it is. Well, we're almost at the 20 to go, so I
mean, we are. We're just a moment away from that. Here's another driver who was in the championship. Unfortunately, not in this series. I take it back. But Timmy Harper has tasted success. But right now, he's running out in front in that Harper Motorsports number 12 Ford. And it's only a matter of time until he pulls it down onto pit lane. Bird taking that service. Of course, we've got the track map over there. Feel free to spot your favorite driver by their initials. You can see who we're watching on camera, highlighted in that green. Justin Moody now pitting out of 2nd place. And with that, it is officially 20 laps to go. And the 20 laps to go segment brought to you here on VirtualRacing.Network by Snyder Graphics. That's Facebook.com/Snyder Graphics, supplying several cars in the field with their custom liveries. And they can do exactly the same for you. Make your dreams come true. Whatever you want your car to have on it, or truck, or late model, whatever you're running here on iRacing, they are your answer. To be honest, they can also do some custom graphics if you're looking to do something special for your team, for your friends, for your family, whatever. They have it all under that banner, Facebook.com/Snyder Graphics. Get your wedding invitations designed today by Snyder Graphics.
I don't know if I've ever done that, but I mean, I'm open to it, I guess.
Put some race cars on those wedding invitations, get some checkers, some waving flags.
Maybe that's what I could have done for Josh for his wedding. I don't know.
Yeah.
Darn, missed my opportunity.
Absolutely. You make that thing look like it's moving 100 miles an hour and it pops out of the envelope. Timmy Harper still out there in front.
Sorry, I was going to mention Tim Harper. I don't know what the strategy is here. I think at this moment, he's just hoping for a caution. I don't think he's going to be able to make it the entire way. There's no way, especially with that front end damage. Those guys are going to catch him before this race is over. So I think right now he's just hoping for a caution, catch a few people on the lap down, because that car is still in it for owner's points. He's battling Josh Conover and a few other cars that aren't running for Drivers' Championship. He's battling for owner's points in that 12 car.
And we will bring you a update on the owner's points battle coming here very shortly. As we get close to the end of the season, that becomes another championship that is being tracked, as is the manufacturer and battle that is happening out there as well.
Yeah, I think Chevy has that currently.
Exactly.
If I'm not mistaken.
So that's another championship that's being tracked. But of course, Tim Harper, as you said, hanging out there in front at the moment and on his own strategy, and he has about a 22-second lead over Dustin Kleba. Of course, that'll be erased easily if he comes into the pits here very soon. But looking on, it looks like, as you said, that strategy is to just hold on, because if he does get a caution, he'll pull it down onto pit road. Everyone else will follow, and as a result, he'll come back out in front. So, killer strategy there, but it can only last for so long. And as you see, it's kind of a difficult one to run, because everybody out there who's gotten fresh tires, even though they're a lap down, they're getting that lap back, and they are ripping around Tim Harper right now.
I mean, he's getting some TV time, so maybe that was his strategy there. With that number 12 Chevy Ford over on the screen there.
Well, he's always out there on Facebook putting those posts out about how excited he is for the race, and we always appreciate that. If you're not following him over there, I'm not sure if he's streaming tonight, but on Twitch, of course, he's running Harper 5-0 over on Twitch. So another one of the drivers that has a lot going on social media. Certainly check him out there, as we've got this battle going on now for 5th place. This is Josh Conover, Brady Moats, and Ronnie Norman running in 5th, 6th, and 7th.
Yeah, I do just want to update Cody Height into the pits. He is having a rough go of it out there. He's clear back in 16, so this performance here in this first race of the round of 8, man, it's almost going to put him into, he's going to have to win one of the next 2 races if he wants to see Phoenix.
Well, certainly, if you look at that, the position gap there, he's all the way back now in 17th place, and the closest driver who is in the championship to him in the order is Ryan Bird, who's in 9th place. Everybody else in the championship is ahead of them in the order right now.
Yeah, that's pretty huge for Cody, and that's unfortunate for him. So the next 2 races here, Homestead and Martinsville, I believe they are. He's going to have to go out and win one of those.
It's rough for anybody to think they could go out there and win Martinsville. I don't care how good of a driver you are, to think that you can just go out there and take it is going to be a challenge. But Homestead, different story, as we now do see Tim Harper pitting at the moment. There's the number 12 on pit road. So with 10 to go, that dream of getting the caution to come out and taking the lead once you come out of the pits again is now over for Tim Harper, and he will fall like a rock through the field. But Dustin Kleba resumes in the lead. Tom Senchek in 2nd, Vincent Arthur in 3rd, Josh Conover in 4th place, and Brady Moats into 5th. Most of these drivers now, like the entire top 8, is all championship drivers with the exception of one, which is Josh Conover, a guy that if he was racing for points, he probably would have been a championship driver.
Yeah, and I mean, he is still racing for owners' points, or that owners' championship. So technically, the top 8 all in that owners' picture, I think, except for 1 or 2 of them. So these guys are there's, you know, like we talked about earlier, there's 2 different battles going on, and Josh is in that one. So even though he's in black there, he's still got something to fight for. And he just got passed there by his teammate Ronnie Norman. So helping Ronnie get that extra point there, maybe not helping. He might be in trouble here. He's on the outside there, and some cars are coming by him on the inside. And these guys are all for the drivers' championship, so he might be letting them by and just saying, "Here, go up and fight for it." Especially since Matthew George, another one of his teammates, going for the championship as well. Is, oh man, he's in the wall. Oh, here comes Bird. He's joined it. This is 4 championship guys fighting for that top 4.
There is Bird into the mix, and he's going to go by Moats as well. Or at least he's going to put it on the low line there to go by Moats. Here comes Matthew George joining that train going by Moats.
And while we want to keep on this battle, the battle for second now heating up. Vincent Arthur is there on Senchek, underneath him.
This is it. Vincent Arthur side by side with Senchek.
Oh, Senchek was a little loose there, a little sideways. He stayed in it though, and he's right on the outside of Vincent Arthur, almost tied at the line there. Right on board here. He is loose. I think Vincent Arthur also is. You see him, he's already turning right there, mid-corner. These cars are not handling good at all, but these guys are putting everything they got into it.
Well, they are still continuing side by side here through the corners. Whoa, Senchek getting loose coming off of the corner, and Vincent Arthur that time going to lead, or excuse me, be in second place there. Meanwhile, way out in front, 1.8 seconds, Kleba in clear control of this one. Is he en route to Phoenix? We're about to find out here in just another 5 clicks. Vincent Arthur has now sufficiently moved by Tom Senchek. He puts himself in position on points, if he can finish this way, to pretty much assure himself he will move into Phoenix at the end of this season, or at the end of this chase round, excuse me. Arthur clear of Senchek by several car lengths. Senchek now settling.
And if you look at the left side of the screen, all of the top 7 are the playoff drivers. So minus Cody Height having some issues here tonight, all 7 of the guys who need the most points are capitalizing on what they can. And this just goes to show that even though an entire season is under the belt, it is the 7 best drivers still left that are up here in this top 7.
It's phenomenal stuff. It's been like this all season. It's been amazing watching all these drivers and how successful they've been in moving forward and trying to claim victories and running in the top 5. What do we say about Matthew George? He's there when it counts at the end. Here he is following his teammate Ronnie Norman. And you know what? He's fighting for the championship too, Matthew George is, and he says, I don't have to let you have this position.
Oh man, teammates battling for it. Look at this.
I if you needed more proof that they're not just going to be best friends out there and let each other pass each other.
I think he's going to be clear of him, though. I think George did a little bit of a better job saving those tires there, and he's going to pull away with this. But white flag's in the air for Kleba, and I tell you what, he's going to be a happy man in that interview whenever you interview him here at the end of this one. He's going to Phoenix again here in NORA.
Well, again, with these 2 upcoming races, I don't think anybody wants to be sitting there thinking, I got to win at Martinsville. And certainly Homestead, not the easiest place to master, but Dustin Kleba has put the chips on the correct square here in Las Vegas. He takes the victory and punches his ticket into the Final 4 in Phoenix. Vincent Arthur in 2nd place, and Tom Senchek, a hard-fought 3rd, to stay out there and get a podium position, continuing to snag podium positions. How about Ryan Bird coming through with a late charge to take 4th place? His teammate there at late apex, and Matthew George racing hard against Ronnie Norman, his teammate, ending up in the top 5. So Kleba going to pull it around here and celebrate, I'm sure, on the start-finish straightaway. And with that, we are going to step away for just a moment. We'll get the final results together, and we'll be back here in just a moment with your driver interviews, the top 3 here in the NORA Victory Circle discussion coming up next here on VirtualRacing.Network. Don't go anywhere. And welcome back here on VirtualRacing.Network. Dustin Kleba burning it down on that front straightaway. There is a drag strip just outside of the speedway here, but he's lighting it off and doing burnouts here on the front straight because he has just won and punched his ticket into the final race of the season, where he'll have his chance to be able to take the championship for the NORA Cup Series 2023. Tonight, taking round number 34 at Las Vegas. It's all Dustin Kleba, as you see there on your screen, by 1.7 seconds over Vincent Arthur. And 3rd place going to Tom Senchek. 4th to Ryan Bird. 5th place to Matthew George. 6th place, Ronnie Norman. 7th, Brady Boats. 8th to Josh Conover. 9th, Cameron Thompson. 10th, Chad Engel. 11th, Cody Reeder. 12th, Justin Mooney. 13th, Timmy Harper. 14th, Jacob Gladelich. 15th, Cody Height. 16th, Gary Freeman Jr. 17th going to Peyton Tulloch. 18th to Nick Geilis. 19th to Everett Couch. 20th, to Kyle Rochelle. 21st, John Cottle. 22nd, Zach Hollinger. 23rd, Jacob Malone. 24th to Jake Christenberry. 25th to Blake Hoppy. And I don't think Christopher Heights took a lap out there tonight. So he's officially...
Yeah, he was race control there for tonight.
Well, that's your answer for that. But Dustin Kleba, nevertheless, taking victory here on VirtualRacing.Network. And it was an exciting one out there. Of course, if you enjoyed this race, we encourage you to subscribe here on VirtualRacing.Network. You wouldn't believe how many people watch these races that are not subscribed, but please make sure to hit that subscribe button. You get all these races delivered right to your inbox, and won't that be cool? You won't even have to go anywhere. You'll know that these races are coming up. And also, please like this video. It helps to get it spread out there amongst more people out in the YouTubosphere. And so with that, let's go ahead now and chat with our third place finisher, Tom Senchek of Late Apex Racing. Hey, Tom.
What up?
Hey, he did it. You got another podium. Congratulations, Tom. Fantastic run there to third place here tonight. And you were holding on with the big guys up there in the front. Thought maybe you might have a second place on your hands.
Well, felt good. I wasn't really expecting to be up there that much, but I just wanted to get a points day. I think I was 24 points behind. So I finished 5th, and then 2nd, and then 3rd. So I think that made up a lot of points. So that's kind of what I wanted. A win would have been obviously fantastic. Kind of torched my right front on that last stage, trying to keep up with Kleba. He was quicker. Clean air definitely was a necessity at this track. I think they're going to say the same thing. But even without clean air, he was pretty quick there. Especially since it was only, I think, a 25 lap stint right there at the end instead of 36 like we were used to.
Mm-hmm.
He was hauling, and yeah, I mean, it kind of fell how I expected, so I'm kind of happy with it.
Well, and the strategy, as you alluded to, did change between the first two stages. Also, Sunday night we saw here a green flag race from flag to flag. And here tonight, it was looking green. I think maybe some plans were made. How badly did that change your plans? Did you have to flip-flop and go with a completely different plan, or did you kind of still play it by ear? How did it change for you?
Well, since the caution flags dropped and we had like 4 extra laps of fuel, we were going to go to, what was it, 124-ish and pit there. But then the caution hit, and it kind of, we split that down the middle because we pit when the caution happened, so we were going to go about 25 laps. But when Dustin pit and undercut everybody, is kind of threw it off a little bit, so we went a little bit earlier than we wanted to. But yeah, I mean, it worked out perfectly fine. I'm happy with it.
Yeah, beautiful run out there tonight, and of course you score a lot of points. How does it feel to be this far into the season and see that yellow with your name on top of it and know that you're fighting for this championship trophy, and you did a heck of a job giving yourself that chance here tonight?
It feels pretty good considering we came in right after Sonoma, which I don't think I think it was only like 13 or 14 races ago, but scored enough points. Things fell in our direction, and we just made the most of it, and we made the most of tonight too. And I'm definitely looking forward to not Martinsville. Definitely not looking forward. Don't think anybody's looking forward to that. I definitely expect a bunch of cautions there, but I like Homestead, and I kind of like Phoenix. So hopefully we can work our way into the top 4 and show them what we got.
Well, it was a great run out there tonight. Take 3rd and take 2nd, as you mentioned, in that stage. Who do you want to thank for tonight's run to 3rd place?
Well, definitely thank you guys for broadcasting. Big shout out to Dustin and Vince there. We were driving each other really clean up front there, and it was really good to see pace and not dirty racing and pushing people out of the way. So shout out to those guys for running a clean race, and then shout out to Late Apex. I'm not sure what happened to Kyle back there, but I think Brian took 4th, which is it's fantastic for points for us. So we're looking forward to the end of the season.
Indeed, and it's been stellar watching you since you came into the series. It's going to be fascinating to watch how this all plays out here headed forward. So best of luck to you, Tom.
Thank you, guys. I'll see you next week.
All right, my friend. That is Tom Senchek for Late Apex Racing, and always appreciate those kind words about us in the broadcast, but of course you always got to thank Ronnie Norman and Josh Conover, who do a lot of work behind the scenes, and Ronnie, who picks up the tab for all these broadcasts, so we certainly salute him as well. Vincent Arthur, though, has popped out of the car for Flatline Motorsports, and Christian, you've had a chance to catch up with him.
Yeah, and I was listening there to your interview with Tom, and he said I'm not looking forward to Martinsville, but I tell you someone who probably is. It's this 24 Vincent Arthur, but he's probably happy tonight. Vincent, you finished second. It's not a win. You're not locked in yet, but you have so many points that you're probably safe. So how are you feeling here tonight?
I feel pretty good. Just about the overall chances of locking into Phoenix. Definitely not what we wanted. I think we had a really fast Pepsi Camaro, but just didn't really get to show too much of it after the second stage. I got up in the wall, made a slight error, and apparently iRacing gave me some engine damage for that. So fixed the toe link and was down 5 RPM the entire last stage, which would make sense, just because I would have to drive the absolute wheels off of it to try to keep up, and then anytime I would try to make a move, it just wouldn't work. So had to do something different there at the end to try to just give myself the opportunity. And I was just so free, figured take 2, try to keep the pressures up in the left side and a little less fuel, see what that can do. And it actually, it held on. But looking back at it, I wish I pitted a couple laps earlier, but honestly, I don't think the handle would have stayed had I done that. So yeah, I think second is the best we could ask for today, especially after all the engine damage and whatnot. But we'll go on to Homestead. Really enjoy that track. Wish we could rip the wall like they do in real life. But I've had a lot of success there, and hopefully we can lock ourselves in before Martinsville so we don't have to be a part of that crapshoot.
Well, I think in previous years you've been really good there at Martinsville, so I would put you on top of the favorites chart for Martinsville. You and Josh Conover both run really well there, so I mean, Flatline in general always runs good at Martinsville, kind of the Hendrick of the league, if you say. But yeah, I mean, throughout the season, it's been you and Kleba just battling all these races and to be first and second, and more than likely battling him for a championship. Tell us about that, how this season's been with Dustin.
Yeah, I mean, Dustin's always been a really, really good competitor. We've always raced really good and clean together. He's deserving to be locking into the championship 4, but I think just looking at our season, I think this is, probably the most dominant season that I've ever had as a driver, really anywhere. So to be able to have 11 wins up to this point, and just be in the position that we are, points-wise, to be able to just point our way in, if that's the way that we get into the championship 4, that's overall a success. I think with this format and it being that one race, Phoenix isn't one of my better racetracks, so I'll have to put in a lot of work just to be able to be the best competitor that I can be. I know Dustin's always been really fast there, so that'll at least be a challenge in that one race shootout. But I think overall, looking at the season, regardless of how it does end up, I think this is a championship year, regardless of what that final race may say. But we're going to try to go finish this out. We got 3 races left, and we got that big one at Phoenix. So hopefully we can lock ourselves in next week at Homestead and not really have to worry about Martinsville. We could focus all of our efforts on the Phoenix and get that championship.
Well, we'll be hoping to see you there at Phoenix running for that championship, because it's been, I would say, probably the best season for NORA in general. And big part of that is because of you and Kleba out here putting on a heck of a show week in and week out. So, but before we let you go here tonight, anyone you want to give a final shout out to and thank for this one?
Yeah, I got to thank Pepsi for hopping on board. Thank you to Nightmare Graphics for this beautiful paint scheme. We spent a lot of time today working on it. Got to thank Red Bull for always hopping on board. Thank you to Exalta, everybody at Flatline Motorsports, Josh Conover for giving me the opportunity to run these things and run them again next year. And thank you guys for the broadcast, and thank you to everybody at home watching. You guys are really what makes this continue going on.
All right, well, good luck the next 2 weeks here at Homestead and Martinsville, and hopefully we talk to you in Phoenix for the Final Four.
Awesome. Thank you, guys.
All right, Trevor, that's the 24 of Vincent Arthur finishing second, but I think you caught up with the man of the hour in that 16 Ford for KPR. I think it's Dustin Kleba down there in Victory Lane.
Indeed, I've had a chance to finally catch up with him. He's celebrating and collecting all of those chips that he put down on green, and he came up with a winner. And Dustin, congratulations here in Las Vegas. You've gambled and you have won. You've punched your ticket into Phoenix.
Whew, what a race, man! I can't even describe what a relief it is. Just to know that the next 2 weeks we can relax, we can focus on one race and try and get her done. And I know this isn't the big prize at the end, but just being able to lock yourself and knowing that you're gonna be fighting for that big prize at the end is almost a bigger relief than actually winning the whole dang thing. So it is. What a race, man. I'm sure I'm a little biased with how well everything went, but that was a fun race, having to go field strategy in the first stage. Second stage, we were all pretty close, so we were able to kind of fight it out there, and I just cooked up my stuff racing Vincent, and Tom was right there, and Ryan came up, Ronnie was right there. Man, there's like 6 of us on top of a blanket, or right under a blanket, and I just cooked my right front trying to hold the first spot and fell back a little bit, but I don't even remember how I got the lead back. I think it was just a good pit stop and then a good restart, and starting off in stage 3 we were able to get the lead and kind of hold off from there. And this track is so aero dependent for me, at least. Like once I got the lead, I knew I had to do everything I possibly could to keep the lead, and it's just, you got to push 100% when you got the lead, and it doesn't matter if you're cooking tire or whatever, you got to push. So that was about 160 laps of hard racing, and I am sweating in my chair.
Well, we saw a lot of drivers having to work really hard out there because the tires were starting to cook off of these cars. Lots of drivers getting loose. We didn't see anybody actually lose it completely out there because of getting loose, but we saw so many drivers in cars where they were fighting the car. What did you have to do to keep this bucking Bronco, this Mustang, underneath you here tonight? And was there a point at all where you felt like maybe this thing is about to get away from me?
Yeah, it was really just clean air for me. If you got all that air packed onto your nose, it felt pretty good. I was actually tight. At the end, I was really tight. And then at the end of stage 2, I was also really tight. It just seemed like if you had somebody within a car width behind you, you were sliding all over the place. So not only are you trying to find air on your nose to get it to turn so you're not too tight, but you're also watching the guy behind you, and if he's getting up in your rear end, then you're going to be loose. And it's just, once you're back in traffic, it's so hard to hang on and save tires. And it was a fun night just because the guys that I was around tonight showed a lot of respect and had a lot of skill in knowing what their opponents are dealing with. Like, if you know you got a guy that's loose on the inside, it's easy to just pinch them down and get them even more loose, and they spin themselves, and you just move on. But I felt like tonight, guy on the outside, if they were pinching down, they gave a little extra room. They knew when somebody would be sliding up. It was just, there's a lot of respect, and that's when I just have a freaking blast in this league. And even if I didn't win tonight, I had a lot of fun. So hopefully that continues for the rest of the season.
Well, the top 7 drivers here finishing tonight are championship contention drivers. It says you're going to have your hands full when you reach Phoenix here coming up soon. What are your thoughts as we close this one out here in Las Vegas? You've got 2 more races to go, and then you're going to have to go up against 3 of these very difficult challengers coming into Phoenix.
Man, that is a understatement. The challenge that's going to be at Phoenix is by far the hardest it's going to ever be. No disrespect to to my Truck Series Championship, Xfinity Series Championship, I just feel like this field this year is absolutely stacked, which makes me even more determined to get it this year because, I mean, I was lucky. I joined in about 10, 15 races into the season, and a lot of these guys that are running up front joined 10, 15 races ago, and they're going to be around all next season. So the challenge next year is going to be even more. So I think the pressure to get it done this season is massive, but I'm just happy that I only got to deal with 3 other guys for 1 more race. I don't have to deal with 7 other guys for 2 more races. So yeah, man, it just shows. Yeah, I love the Xfinity car. It's by far my favorite car, but the group that's come in this season has really been a good group so far, and I just hope that we're able to have a good, clean battle with the 4 best drivers at the end.
Well, you've shown that in this top-level series, a car that I've called a prima donna, and Christian's agreed with me, and many drivers really struggle to extract the most out of, that you have time and time again been able to master this car. Here tonight at Las Vegas, you put all the chips on green, and you were able to make it work out. You were able to take victory and punch your ticket into Phoenix, and congratulations for doing so. Anybody that you'd like to thank for your run to victory here tonight?
Yeah, for sure. Just gotta thank all my family members out there. I had a couple of cousins that hopped on the broadcast. So shout out to the newcomers. Man, just again, thanks to my teammate Cody. Did a great job today too. Hit the indestructible cone and gave him some damage that he wasn't able to get a finish that he deserved. But you know, just him keeping me calm, reminding me things that I already know, and just being that voice in my head, that positive voice in my head that I need at some time. I couldn't be here without him, and just a big thanks to everybody in the league. I can't say it enough. Everybody's doing a really good job this time of year, and thanks again to you guys up in the booth. I owe you guys everything. I don't know how I'd be able to describe this to my family. So the fact that they get to just watch it along with me and experience it with me is all thanks to you guys. And of course, thanks to Josh. He deals with us whiny drivers every single week in and week out, so wouldn't be here without him. So appreciate everybody.
Well, we appreciate you and the fantastic job you do out there. You're a benchmark for all these drivers to try to achieve each race, and congratulations. Enjoy celebrating this week and for the next couple of weeks, but Phoenix will be here sooner or later. You'll have a tight fight on your hands. Congratulations, though, on your win tonight.
Yes, sir. Now I need a push. I'm out of gas.
And by the way, Ken Kleba checking in over on YouTube before I forget. Great smart driving today, Dustin. Congratulations on the win into the championship race.
Yeah, that's my dad, so feel free to give him grief if he's ever being nasty in the comments. So.
Well,
thanks, guys.
We appreciate it. Thank you, Dustin. And that is Dustin Kleba for KPR Motorsports, who wins here in Las Vegas, punches his ticket. Christian, great race. Did not go green all the way from flag to flag like it did on Sunday, but it was a heck of a race nonetheless. And is it a shock? First of all, is it a shock to see the top 7 all be in yellow? And then secondly, is it a shock to see Kleba at the top of that list?
I mean, the way this season's been going, those playoff drivers have kind of had issues through races. You know, there was one race where I think like 10 of the 12 drivers were involved in incidents, and this week, you know, they were lights out for the most part. So, I mean, it's kind of a little surprising, but at the same time, they all have the talent to put together these races, so it was an amazing drive for them. And Kleba said that the Cup Series championship means more, and I would fully agree. But I tell you what, being that I'm running for a Truck Series championship, I am glad that I don't have to compete against that man, because it would be no chance for me if I did.
Well, and certainly it was a hard-fought win here tonight, but against this level of competition, it is going to be something to watch in Phoenix. You won't want to miss it. And, of course, we also do have the Truck Championship going on here on VirtualRacing.Network. Another round kicks off here on Monday night coming up here. So, of course, if you're not already subscribed, you want to hit that subscribe button And, of course, like this video. We'll get it out there to more and more sim racing fans out there. There is the remaining schedule on the screen and how the playoffs will break down. It's been an interesting run of it so far, but here we are with Homestead and then Martinsville and then that final race at Phoenix, and the grand champion will be crowned after Phoenix. You won't want to miss it. It was a great race. On behalf of myself and Christian Snyder here and all of the NORA Cup Series competitors and the admin staff, we greatly appreciate you joining us over on VirtualRacing.Network in the YouTube chat room. If you weren't there this week, make sure to get back there next week and root on your favorite drivers. We saw you there, Hannah Vasco, saying, "Let's go Brady Motes." Can't forget that one. But thank you so much for joining us. And with that, we will see you on Sunday night from Homestead for the Icon Cup Series. That's our next broadcast. And again, Monday and Tuesday night right here as well for the NORA Truck and Cup Series. On behalf of everybody, we hope you have a wonderful rest of your week. And make sure to get all that candy and stuff ready to go. Halloween's coming up real soon. Until then, we'll see you Sunday night. Bye-bye, everybody.